Hey everybody, it's Spencer Aronfeld and welcome to another very special edition of the Trust Me, I'm a Lawyer podcast. With me as always is my co-host and our executive producer, Nory Aronfeld. Nory, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Hello everybody, welcome.
And Nory, we appreciate you participating today because we all know you're not feeling great. Do you want to share with people what's going on?
I actually got infected with COVID-19 recently. Thankfully, because of, my age and statistics and like my immune system, I haven't been that sick at all. So it's just been like getting slightly better. There was one point where I was a little seriously under the weather, but it kind of passed within a few days. So I've just been quarantined now.
Well, we all wish you a very speedy recovery and appreciate so much when you're not feeling well participating in our podcast. And it's going to be duly rewarded today because we have a very, very special guest. Why don't you tell everybody who our guest is today, Nory?
Today we have a South Florida lawyer, Sasha Katz, who is a consumer law and real estate attorney. And she's going to speak with us today about that specific area of law for which she practices, and as well as her journey to Esquire and things such as that. So.
And in addition to that, Sasha has combined her legal education and training with a really very special, I don't know if I want to call it motivational empowerment, but she has an extremely unique and valuable program that she participates in and directs that helps people around the world. So welcome to the podcast, Sasha.
Thank you. I could not be more excited. You did not tell them one key thing.
What did I forget?
Which is the very first law firm I ever worked for was yours.
That is true. That is true. Sasha was my intern as she was contemplating going to law school and spending a summer with me. Unlike many of the other people who participated in our internship program, you actually said, you know what, I want to do this. A lot of people who spend the summer with me, Sasha, are like, get me another profession.
You know what? I bet that if more lawyers tried it out before they went to law school, they might choose something different. I don't know. It's kind of a crazy show that we're part of, right?
I agree. I think had I done this for the summer, I probably would have chose something differently. I would have thought it would have been too hard. Mm-hmm. And too much aggravation and too much, what's the word? Fighting. Too much.
Yeah. So that's actually an excellent point because I did start out in a more traditional area, commercial litigation with business clients after law school. But not too long after that, I shifted to real estate. And what's interesting, there's an interesting dichotomy in real estate because I'm a title agent, which means I can issue title insurance. So I handle purchases for buyers, sales, and refinances, commercial and residential. But when you are a title agent, you can be licensed through the Florida Bar, which is what I am, or you can be licensed through the Department of Insurance through Florida, and you do not have to be a lawyer. So I feel like I was able to wiggle out of that really toughness where you're constantly fighting and it's always adversarial. And real estate certainly has that aspect to it. Definitely high stress. People are super stressed out when they're buying and selling. But the difference is that I work with a lot of people who are not lawyers, and a lot of them don't really have that like fighting nature. They're just here to get the transaction done, which is something that I think has been a decent fit for my personality and for me.
Yes. And you handle both residential and commercial?
I do. I've been lucky enough to make some contacts with some great commercial brokers in the last 5 years. So I really enjoy doing those more difficult transactions from time to time because the residential could be a little, I guess, cookie cutter, if you want to say. A lot of them are similar. But SBA loans, they're more complicated and they can be fun. So I do a handful of commercial each year as well.
So people, go ahead, Nory. Sorry.
Do you hear that echo in the back?
Yes, I do hear that echo.
Oh, I actually don't. I'm sorry, guys. I'm good.
Okay, well, it's not that bad, but.
So Sasha, if people are watching the podcast and they want to either buy or sell a house, what's your territory? How much of Florida are you able to help people?
handle?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, of course, I'm in Fort Lauderdale. So many of my transactions and my clients are here in Broward County. I would say after that, I would say Palm Beach County is right behind it. And then although I am absolutely open to Miami-Dade County closings, that would probably be the third area that I work in. And I would say that for my investor clients who are regularly buying and selling properties, I handle transactions for them pretty much all over Florida because they will purchase a vacant lot or they'll purchase a duplex or a triplex, and they're kind of everywhere. So for investor clients, wherever, as long as they're in Florida.
Okay, cool.
I have a question. When you were in law school, which I believe you did go to UM, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you foresee a career in real estate law, or was that something that you kind of wanted to do after having experimented with other areas?
Actually, I turned my nose up at any kind of transactional work. I considered it boring. Really why I went to law school, and it's funny why you do things, but I had seen a documentary on Thurgood Marshall when I was in 11th grade, and I saw what kind of change a Supreme Court justice could make on a culture, on a country. And that's really what I wanted to be a judge. And then I learned that judges are lawyers. So I thought, well, I want to be a lawyer. And I just set my mind on it, which is something that I often do, maybe not with, with all the facts or all the information, but I decided I wanted to be a lawyer. And when I went to law school, the classes that I enjoyed the most really landed in that public interest area, constitutional. And I'll be totally frank, because I'm not sure who your audience is, but this is, I think, an important message. I had decided by the time I finished law school that my family had been so supportive of me, and I was the first to go to college. I was the first to have an extended degree. And it became important to me that I would be able to financially make contributions to their lives. And I thought maybe that being in the area of public interest wouldn't enable me to do that. My mom was going through some really difficult times, and I wanted to be able to financially stand on my own 2 feet so that I could give back to my family, who literally supported me every step of the way in my education. So I shifted and went into, as I said, initially business litigation and then later real estate. So I have to say that my profession is not my passion, but I am very good at it. And I do think that some people are lucky enough to be passionate about their profession, and others they're good at what they do, but their passions lie elsewhere.
Wow, what an honest and beautiful answer, Sasha. Thank you for that. Let's talk a little bit about your passion. And because you have found something so unique and so powerful, I want to share it with everybody who's watching the podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So about 4 or 5 years ago, I just had this pull inside of me. What can I do to serve the community? And I had already been doing that through advocating for human trafficking and advocating for foster kids. And it just wasn't enough. It just was like not enough. What else can I do? And through a series of events, I spend a lot of time with women in my community. And one of the things that was really eating at me was seeing women run into obstacles and having those obstacles stop them, and they would not pursue the thing that they were made to do in that season of their life. And it ended up that I created a course called Follow Your Call. It's a 6-week course, and it walks women through identifying their true passions, figuring out what the obstacles are that are actually holding them up, and then creating a plan to pursue that despite the obstacles and everything else in their way. So I just did it as a test. I didn't know if women in my community would be interested in this, but I taught my first class in January of 2019. And since then, almost 60 women have taken the class over the last year and a half or so. And that has caused me to do some other things also in this area of following your calling. But it's just providing for me, like I said, an outlet for my passion, as well as continuing the practice of law.
It's so wonderful. And if people are interested in learning about this or taking your class, what's the best way for them to reach you?
The best way is to go to followyourcall.com, and all of the offerings are there. And there are plenty of free resources as well if you're just looking to figure out what I do and how it works and if it can help you.
Nory, you got any questions?
Not necessarily. I just think that's such a wonderful thing. But I would, just for clarification, are you like facilitating the interest of a career for women in your community, specifically in law, or is it a wide branch of things that you provide?
Yeah, that's a great question, because what many women can't answer, and I would say that many people can't answer, is what is my calling? What was I made to do? That's a really hard question. We have a lot of, we have social media, we have a lot of information coming at us all the time, and I think it's really hard to know the answer to that question. You can probably relate to that since you're getting ready to venture into the world of adulthood, college, if that's what you choose. So these questions are really hard. I have, just to give you just super fun, I just finished a class. One woman is pursuing to be a personal chef along with serving the homeless. Another woman is a registered nurse and is deciding to open up a daycare for seniors for the Haitian community because she feels like that's lacking. Another woman is venturing to open a gallery for less known artists in her community. So you can see that it spreads pretty far, and many of these women have already pursued careers just like me, and then are either shifting or adding something to their life that they already have.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it's so important and valuable more than ever now, because what's going on in the world, people have to have the flexibility to change careers quickly. I think that what's happening is going to end lots of careers that people have had, and they're going to have to find other ways to support themselves financially and spiritually. And your program, kind of like a shoehorn, just kind of helps people slide into that much more comfortably. So good for you, Sasha. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's funny thinking back. Our families have known each other a long time, but of course for me, I have those memories of when I first, worked for you, and plus 20 something years later, I see how much you've done in your community in the area of litigation, and then also, connecting people through the stuff that you've done. So super valuable, and people care about their community.
Well, you're the sweetest. Sasha, I want to thank you for spending some time with us today. It's always such a pleasure to see you. Send my love to the family, and thank you again for all that you do for everybody. I love you.
Love you too.
Thank you, darling. Thank you, Nory. If people are interested in being on your podcast, what's the best way to do it besides walking behind you?
Thank you.
I mean, that's a way to do it. Podcast bombing.
The best way would be to DM us through Instagram at the Trust Me I'm a Lawyer podcast account there, and I'll include the information in the description. But also we have an email, of course. You could reach us at trustmeamalawyerpodcast@gmail.com.
Wonderful. Well. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Sasha, and we'll see you on the next podcast.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.